A few years ago, it was nearly impossible for me to feel positive about anything that was happening in my life. Everything I thought I was building came crashing down in an instant, and I had no idea what I was going to do. It felt like God was punishing me for something, but I really didn't understand it. I had lost my third job in 11 months. My sense of stability, my confidence, even my faith, it felt like it was all slipping away. And if you're in that place right now, frustrated, exhausted, feels like you're on the verge of giving up, I need you to hear me right now. God isn't punishing you. He is positioning you. But before you see it, it's gonna feel like everything is falling apart. Today, I'm gonna share with you the transformation that happened for me when I stopped living my life for everybody else and started to operate in my purpose. When you're in the middle of it, when bills are piling up, when it feels like your prayers aren't being answered, when people stop answering the phone for you, it does not feel like positioning. It feels like abandonment, rejection. It feels like you're cursed. On one Thursday afternoon a couple of years ago, I received a phone call that I wasn't exactly ready for. And on the other end was my manager at the time, and what he said to me was, "Today's your last day." I could hear the pain in his voice, but of course, there was also a lot of pain for me. And I sat there in that moment thinking about what I was gonna do next. While dealing with the shock, I didn't really have the answers on what the next steps were. But in that moment, there was a sense of peace for me. But I realized there was a shift happening and I had to lean on my faith. For 11 years, I had dreamed of building my own business. Each time I thought about it, it felt too risky. I felt too uncertain. There was too much on the line. But in this moment, I didn't really have a choice. And what I came to realize in that moment was God wasn't closing a door. He was pushing me through the one that I had been avoiding walking through. But a few weeks later, I woke up at 3 a.m. in the morning, drenched in sweat, no job, no real plan, and no peace. So I jumped out of bed, started pacing the room, trying to calm myself down. Had so many things on my mind and literally could not catch my breath. I tried praying and got nothing. And finally, I just broke down. I found myself laying in the floor, face down, and saying to God, I literally don't know what to do anymore. And in that silence, I didn't hear a booming voice or some type of magical sign. And later what I realized was God answers your prayers by the position that He puts you in. And I promise you, it's rarely convenient, it's never comfortable, but it's always exactly what you need. For 11 years, I had this dream, but it never felt like the right time. I was always too scared. It felt too risky, or that I should wait just a little bit longer before I took the leap. Stepping into your purpose is never going to look glamorous. There were mornings where I literally wanted to crawl back into the bed and nights where I would just sat there questioning everything. But here's the thing, your faith doesn't grow in comfort. It grows when you're in the wilderness. If you're asking God for strength, He's gonna put you in a position where it's mandatory. And if you're asking God for faith, He's gonna put you in a position where you can rely on nothing but Him. Looking back now, I see it more clearly than I've ever seen it before. Losing my job was the best thing that ever happened for me. It forced me to stop living for everybody else's approval and start trusting the vision that God had placed inside of me. It forced me to start operating in faith instead of playing it safe in comfort. Through that process, my faith grew. I started to see challenges as setups and rejection as redirection. I began to see obstacles as opportunities, and I began to realize what feels like punishment is often just preparation. You cannot fulfill your calling while clinging on to comfort, and you can't live by faith if you're still holding on to your safety net. So how do you keep your faith when everything feels like it's falling apart? Let me give you the 3 steps that help me. Anchor your days in presence. Every morning before the phone, before the emails, I give myself 45 minutes to prepare myself for the day. That's meditation, a little bit of yoga, some prayer, making sure that I'm centered and ready to do what I need to do for that day. That simple change has shifted my perspective more than anything else. The second thing I started doing was I reframed the situation. Instead of asking, why is this happening for me? I started to ask, what is this preparing me for? That one question will change how you see the storm that you're in. And the next thing is take the step that's in front of you. Oftentimes we feel like we need to see the whole staircase before we decide to walk. But God is simply asking you to take the next step. For me, that was doing the things that I needed to do to operate my own business. For you, that might be writing the book that you've been promising yourself that you're going to write, or simply taking the leap of faith that you know you've been avoiding. So if you're in a difficult season right now, here's what I need you to do. Lean in. Don't confuse pain with punishment, and don't confuse endings with failure. Stay faithful, stay positioned, because what you're walking through right now is shaping you for what you've been called to do. Whenever you feel like quitting, remember this: it's impossible for you to quit when you know your purpose. God did not put you here to destroy you. He put you here to develop you. The pressure that you're under right now is producing something that comfort never could. I don't know what your story looks like right now. Maybe it's your job, maybe it's your health, maybe it's a relationship. But just know this: God did not put you in this position just to abandon you. I know it might feel like the ending, but this is the beginning of exactly what you prayed for.